Hello. I got a package from my dad, and I thought I'd share it before I put it away because it's so neat. And I thought some of my friends might enjoy it. So, first I got a couple things from my stepmother's, who I adore. Her mother's stash. So these were some of these things. And look at this. I cracked up. It's not that old, but that is probably in the 80s. Does somebody want to guess a date for these bodies? Do you remember when the stores, that's an original doll baby. It's just the body though. There's no head. You got to add the head, I think. Anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. So that I wanted to show these things as well. Then here is, look at this amazing cross-stitch topper. It is in here and it's done. And it's been cleaned or that's what it says, hand cross-stitched. And it's got the original tag. It was made in China. So that's interesting there. Anyway, look at that. So this is handmade by somebody in China. I don't know. There's no, let's see. I have no date whatsoever. But by the cover, do you remember the round tables? I'm going to say maybe somewhere in the 90s. Do you remember this era of the tables? The round, you'd get the little round tables for like $5. You'd come home and you'd cover them with all these. I made so many custom. Just forget it. Okay, so remember that. But anyway, this is very pretty. I like it. So it's, you know, a whole piece. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I definitely want it out somewhere. So, I don't know. But it's beautiful, right? I thought somebody would like seeing that. I mean, look at the little, I'll just bring it in here. It's got little cutouts and stuff. Where is it? I mean, look how neat that is. It's very pretty. So anyway, okay. There's that. And then, an old crochet book. I love that. And it had some, you know, to make baskets, coily baskets. I think this is more like a macrame style type stuff. You'd coil your yarn around the, here's another one. So that's kind of neat. There they are. Yeah, macrame and stuff. Look how neat. So, 70s. My mother-in-law gave me some of her old stuff. Again, I love inheriting sewing rooms. So if anybody has a sewing room or a craft room, I am one that will take it. This is 76. I think I've gotten 3 now. All family. I mean, they're just family. I'm the only one that does this in the family. So I'm sure you have the same exact thing going on in your life. And family goes through things and nobody in their life does these things anymore. Except me. Except us. Right? Look at how cool those are. So this is a neat book. And so I definitely want to add it to my collection now. And the fact that it's family makes it even better. Look at that dog. That is hideous. Who would want that? A 3-dimensional object into geometric shapes. You'll be able to combine tubes, triangles, and circles in anything you wish to make, including this lovable canine friend. And we would have loved it. We would have loved it. I was at a thrift one time, like a little junk shop, and she had one of those, what were they? Kind of like strawberry shortcake crochet dolls. And I didn't buy it. And I really wished I'd had, but I didn't that day. I think I chose roller skates instead. It's very normal for me. This is what I've been begging my dad for. And he finally found it. And I am now the owner of it. Just notice how beautiful this vintage scrapbook is, by the way. This is dated up to 81, I believe. So this was my dad's portfolio from work when he was very young. He had started at this company when he was 17, sweeping floors, and then he became a machinist, and now he has his own, and he's a partner, and he has a sister plant. Anyway, I love this scrapbooks, very vintagey. But this is the company my dad worked for. This is back when printing was an art form. And I grew up in this, he still owns that now. I grew up in this place. And I dug in the paper bins, and I played and made paper chains for days because there was just strips all the time and big stacks, colored strips. But these were the little, they would be on a ring, and they were the foil. My mother put this together, by the way. These were the little foils where the customers would come in and they would pick. Man, I'd love to have those. I loved these. Every time they get new ones, I'd get the old ones. I'd play with them. And what is it? Real quick. I don't know what you're... Oh, you do got a funny curl.
For some reason, my hair did something cool.
Her hair?
My hair, y'all.
Are you channeling again? Where's Reba? All right. So anyway, I love this. And so here is, a letter from his boss. Thanks. Isn't it great to be good? He says, thanks, Dave, for your patience, support, and cooperation through some of my rough time. Because of your help and attitude, we are better. We are good. Isn't it great to be good? That's, 70s. This is going to be. And here's my dad's business card. And it's all engraved. It's Ponte engraving. So everything in here is engraved. Or embossed, look at that. I wish you could feel it. And I loved growing up here. So there's sort of like the old handbook. How fun is that? Anyway, my mom must have decided that contact paper was a good idea to seal these items in, and I'm afraid they're probably going to be ruined if I try to take that contact paper off. I don't know. Has anybody tried to remove contact paper from paper? And what was your success rate? Because I know in scrapbooks, like the things that are glued down, I could soak them. I could do something like that. But the contact paper, I don't have any plans of taking this apart at all. It'll probably end up in the trash just like this. But you can see what it's done here. It's made, it's not sealed, but if you try to peel it, it just peels the paper. See, it pulls the paper, so I'm not going to be able to take that off. It's such a bummer. But anyway, here is some of his very early work. This is the envelope there for the stationery. And here is a map of where it is in Phoenix, or where this, I believe it's still there. I know they have another one, but I think this one is still there. But, I don't know. And then here, I don't know if you can see that, but that's a whole embossed image of the bank, Continental Bank, in 1970 something. 74, maybe. 75. No, it would be 76, I think, because of my age. Yep. Okay. No, be younger than that. Let me see. 74. So yeah, around early mid-70s. Anyway, here's another one. This one's just shiny, so it's got the foil, but it is got, I think if I could feel it, it's got just an embossed there. This was from Elvis's Only Complete Listings, a price guide cover. And here are more. Here's one for Intel. That's how old that is. I remember when my dad, Solutions for the 80s. So this one must have been, I'm not sure when she put this together. So some of these might be earlier than others because I do know there's some 70s dates in here. So obviously she just kind of gathered it and did it sat down and started doing it with all of his stuff. But I remember my dad bringing home what was that? A Commodore 64. Am I saying that right? And I just tap, 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 say I love you, daddy, enter, and it would just print off those little things with the holes in the side. And he had brought it home because they were updating the system to computers. So I actually have memories of that taking place. Fun. And then there's some from like Paradise Valley Country Club. There's Padre Peter Farth. What does that say? No, that's an M. Martha. Peter Martha. Some other companies. There's an oil. Loco. And that's got an oil, but you can't really see it. But it's all embossed. You can see the little guy there. The little monk. He's kind of cute. That's a financial system. Resource Corporation, Padre Financial Center. These would have all been in Arizona and Phoenix. Well, not everything, actually. There's some stuff from California, too, but it's going to be in the area. There's a portfolio probably for some type of business. That's what they would have done. They would hand you a folder when you show up thing. And then these are all engraved. Not all of the pages have this contact paper. We're about to run out of this. So she must have decided not to keep going when she did this. And my mom was so good at scrapbooking, so I'm not really sure what this phase was here because it never showed up on anything again. But I do remember her having a moment where contact paper was a thing in my life. Did you have a mother who went through the contact paper phase where everything from drawers to shelves was covered in contact paper? My mom did it. That's a little cookbook from a church in Tempe. Here's one from Greyhound. You got the card, the brochure. It was their 79 annual report. And then there's a passport that would have probably had something there. That when you opened it up, it would make a scene or something. And so 25th year. Is that how old Greyhound was in 1979? Or just that particular in Arizona? I don't know. And then here's another one. Look how pretty that is. I really wish you could see that. So beautiful. And then here's some other businesses. Silicone slices and ingot. As cut, lapped, etched, polished electronic materials for Motorola. Let's see. Love and a Question. I don't know what that was from, but that's kind of neat. It was cut out, so maybe it was from something. My mom just decided to fussy cut it. There's user news from the fall of 78. That's raised. You can see how the paper did. I think maybe that's what my mom was thinking, is the contact paper. It just doesn't let you see what the stinking engraving is. You can't see it. And that's the point of here is a 77 Phoenix Memorial Hospital 77th annual report. Here is one from 78. That one's very beautiful. The Phoenix itself is flat, but then when you get into this red part, you get a little bit of a raised. So it's kind of neat. And growing up around this, and in my summers in school, I would work at my dad's place during the summer, make some money. And I did the shipping where you'd go, you had to check to make sure that you were sending them. Every business card was checked. Every one of them. Back then, I don't think so now, but back then, every business card was checked to make sure there was no misplacements. So it was very difficult to get those machines to line up. There's one from the $1 Million Rock. It's like a face. The story is so incredible. And then here you get some little business cards. There's a coach from ASU. You got a 3 feathers handcrafted pearls. Let's see. There's a International Automobile Hall of Fame. in Florida. That one's some company. There's a Guy Apple Masonry. And then you got some seals. Do you remember the seals that you would lick? You know, just come with, they did those too. There's the nice little Kachina doll for Kachina Petroleum. That's the president there. Telco. So those are some things. This one's totally faded. I don't even know what that is anymore. It's obviously some kind of faces, maybe, but I'm not sure. Really, it just said say goodbye. And ironically, that's what happened. So I don't know what happened there. If that got, I'm not sure. There's something else underneath it. Like it's folded here. So I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to blame the contact paper. I'm not a fan, Mom. This was a dumb idea. Here's something off of, some kind of a benefit concert for Hand in Hand. And so that was their little thing they had there. That's kind of neat. These are my favorites. Check these out from the Arizona Copper. Can you see them? Look at that page. I want it. I would use this in one of my pieces, but my mom contact papered it. So maybe we can get some ideas. Anybody have any ideas? If not, maybe I'll have to run. But see, old contact paper and new contact paper aren't going to give me the same results. So even if I try to test, I can't let it sit here for 60 years and then go, and then, but I love all the images. They're very retro there. That's really neat. The calculator, and look at the screen, what they thought we'd have in the future. And then this is the Arizona Mining Association, and look at how beautiful the whole state is copper, and each of the counties, or the separations there in the counties, are different. That die, now I don't know if you know this, that means that die was this big, and it was hand carved at the time. I remember watching, the guy thought what they did was amazing, and they would sit and they would hand carve all these tiny little tools, and there'd just be shavings everywhere. So every dot, everything that's going on here, these were done with presses to get this design, but it has to fit. It can't, it's just unbelievable what they did, how they do it. And so as you can see, each and every one of the counties is a different texture. And thank goodness she stopped right here, because they think no more contact paper from here on out. And you can just feel this. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. And then it's got the places where their mines are in Arizona. This is the El Dorado Luxury Offices, a unique environment. Firebird, and that one's got, oh man, that one's neat, because it's just the edge of the wing, and so the inside is still engraved there. That's really neat. And then there's the Phoenix right here. Can't really see it, but that's the point, is that it's in there. That one's really noticeable. These are what our machines do. We run the dies through. Here's the certificate. And when was the last time you ever saw a certificate? Anywhere. This was art, man. I don't care what anybody says. Look at even this little section here has texture. Beautiful. This is from the Arizona Bank. I remember it had a little Kachina on it. So cute. Here's some tiny little double tree in of Monterey, and there's little trees there. And then you've got a smooth, and then the embossed on the top. And that's really neat. Sheer Terror. I think that's a hair salon. There's the Arizona Biltmore. There's a American Dental Corporation for their office. This was another one. And even that. Spencer Moore. Business cards, letterheads. There's more of that tea. That is on the envelope. It's raised. It's not printed. It's beautiful. Here's some more like that. You can feel that, like Braille. When was the last time? Look, this one's just going across the top. It says Progresso Litho Services of Arizona. I mean, that's beautiful. And then that one's got a little shine. And so the blue one does. There it goes. A little shine. And again, raised. So each die was made. Each die was carved. And then stamped. This one too. I mean, look at that. That's a little building. Oh, I wish you could see it. I would have had this lower, but then you couldn't see the book at all. Let's see. Probably nobody's even looking this far. Nah, I can't get it. But it's gold and sparkly, and it has tiny windows, and you can feel it. That's beautiful. Here's some others. There's the Wigwam, whatever that was, company. Office of the Governor, a Tanner Company. You know, you think of the time frame that this is in as well. This right here, I think this probably came off of a Wells Fargo, maybe not. But it is an entire wagon scene, completely embossed. A whole, pull it up so you can see it. Oh, look at how pretty it is. Look at that. That's handmade stuff right there. Oh my God, that hurts my hands. I can't do that again. So unless one's really awesome. I was moving books around. I have such bad hands and joints. So I was moving books around after a couple of days, just moving them and organizing them on my shelf. My fingers were hurting. Here's another one. It's got a giant P. I think my mom cut that out and put that on there. But this is the P, just to kind of see what it looks like. So this would be cut out, like fussy cut. But it actually has a P on the page. And then there's the business card. And there's another scene in the desert down here at the bottom. Little swirl cactuses. And beautiful. You can see it there. I turn the page. Here's some more. The same thing. Just that. This one has my dad's fingerprints on it. Smudge from having stuff on his hands from running the machines. That one came home, but it was a little dirty. This was a room service menu. Again, you've got flat in the reflection. So you actually can tell that is a reflection of something in the water. That's the idea there. And so this is smooth. But up here, oh, bumpy. Bumpy, bumpy. And then the sun is smooth. But the lines are not. And then some Christmas Club. We got a congratulations from National Life Insurance Company. That's neat. So it's a two-part process. You have one that presses it in or engraves it out or embosses it. And then it went through the machine again with foil. And it happened again. So they had to line up. It wasn't done at the same time. It was done separately. And that's little tiny microscopic twists on knobs and things on the machine to get them to line up. So really neat. There's the Architecture Phoenix, Scottsdale rather. And then here's one that's got same thing. This is on a leather or, a type of, faux leather. The Turf Club. It probably was leather, so it looks like the Turf Club's probably like some kind of country club, so it's probably some kind of something. That was a restaurant, I believe, beside the Point. It's got Point, and this is like a little fabric ribbon. How pretty is that? And then here is AZL Resources annual report from 1980, and this is all, my mom fussy cut this, but it's an oil rig. How big and beautiful that is. Not neat. Here's another one, a whole scene. And this is from a bank. 1979. Yeah, they're not in any order. And you get that kind of behind the dime. The back of the dime, the little tree there, it looks like. It's about the size of that. Really neat. There's even people and a little like statue or fountain right there. It's like a lion on the, I mean, that's probably what it looked like. So they took a picture of it and then came home and took it to my dad, and he got it worked up here. This one's a district of Civitan, youth seminar, Civitan. Kenyon Terrace. That's kind of a neat one where it's got the line between it there. You know, that's really neat actually. So it's stamped on top. The Fountain Hotel. We're curious to go back and see if any of these companies are still around. This is very neat. It's best wishes. Can I? I can't until I'm done here. I don't know. I don't know. I'll finish when I'm finished. I can't give you a time. An hour. The more I'm standing here talking to you about it, the longer it will take.
Just please hurry.
Okay. All right. See, we gotta hurry. She can't come get you. You need me to do it.
No,
Okay. Right. I gotcha. All right. Okay. She wants me to take her to Grandma's. So I don't mind doing that, but I can't give it, 10 minutes? I can't say that. I don't know. I'm going to enjoy myself. So, let's see. This one was a Cowboy Artist of America. And that's all there. That's all an engraved image. And then you can see the bison. And then there's a name there, like a signature. Can't see that at all. There's a signature there so that's the guy's signature that he got on there. That's really neat. Little Indians there. Got another ranch, Paloma Ranch. The Artisan Syndicate. Chelsea Gold Collection by Caruso. You got Meyer, Capital Management. So now, this kind of gives you a peek. If you do, think some of the weird things, business. I find business interesting. I don't know why, but I do. And here, now you know why. It just hit me. Here's one of the reasons why. You're just always around business. And this part of the business, the behind the scenes. This is fun. There's a Charles and Diana, the Prince and Princess of Wales. So it looks like they came to, this is from a radio, but these are all radio stations like this one is. Wait, is this? No. I thought there was another radio station. No, it must just be this one. So like this is Coy Radio's radio station. Is here, and then there's another one, and there's actually some more. So there's some radio stations in here, and I was wondering if maybe this went along with the radio station. I don't know if they came to visit. My mom just stuck it on here. I doubt she'd remember. I wonder what she'd think if I showed it to her. Probably should. There's another radio station. This one's got a little, Kingdom of Switzerland. Coin embossed there, Valentine Group Financial Consultants. So they're not really in any. There's a Bipolar Memory LSI. I don't know if that was some kind of like doctor's office or pharmaceutical, whatever it would be. Clinic is what I'm trying to say. That one's a neat one too. I like this one because this part is raised. And then this part is flat, and it's still got the little lines, and then you've got the ink inside. I mean, that is really beautiful. That was really beautiful. This one's neat. Villa Precision. Now, my dad, he did this. Every card that came in the house, my dad, he knows the paper. He feel it. He'll say he's like a, you could go, oh, this was made on an E6 2000. I don't know, but that's what it sounded like to me. But anyway. So my mom had found one time a birthday card or something that said, in it, it had like a girl in a bikini or something. But then when you opened it up, it said, "Did you notice the girl or the paper quality?" or something like that. And to my dad, that was funny. She layered these, but there's Brown, the Good Samaritan Hospital. So there's actually an image of the hospital put onto their stuff there. And then you've got Flint Steel, business, corporate investors, Honeywell, Gila River Products, Los Americas Industrial Park, and Dial Soap came in. And these would be more not for packaging. This would be more the business side, when they do conventions in Phoenix, and they had to have their little things. This is what they made. So letterheads, business, so not packaging that you would see in the store. They did the corporate side of it. So that's why you see here another oil rig with the Premier Energy Corporation. Total hair care from High Health. Oh my gosh, my mom. I used to live in High Health. My mom was always in there. They would have like little free samples by the door, by the checkout of like vitamins. And she always made me buy. She always bought me sugar-free candy. We'd go to High Health. My mom would get some things and then sugar-free candy. And I loved the licorice, so I'd always want some licorice. And then when you were checking out, they had these vitamins, and they'd let you have some little vitamins. And they always had these one discs that were freaking delicious. I don't know what they were, but I would still eat them today. So I always got super excited when I went in High Health. Like, you get to know people. Anyway, so this was a warranty deed cover for your warranty deed. There's a Christmas card, probably by, there's that Phoenix rising. Beautiful. Very pretty. And light winter. It's not going to make it worse or better. Oh, in a way, maybe. Yeah, because then at least you can see. Okay, we'll do it like that. Let's see. This is the College of Business, Arizona State University. That's very pretty. Now you can kind of see the details. Do you see how detailed these little pieces are? Okay, those weren't done on a machine. I mean, there was some machining, but they weren't. I remember watching the guy. So I'm not sure, the whole process. I could only watch him through the window because I was little and I wasn't allowed to bother them. But I was very well behaved, and my dad took me to work with him all the time. Like all the time. Like every Saturday I'd spend, sometimes Sundays. And I'd run around the place. So I was very, it was all right. I love the font. And this one is from the International Gold Bullion Exchange when they did that. So how fun is that? There's an Ecotech information kit. There's another one that it has got that gold. And see, this was like a matte gold as opposed to a shiny. Like, this is real shiny. This is kind of a matte. And it actually has kind of glitter to it. Whereas this is full shiny. This has a glitter. And it is absolutely beautiful. These used to come on rolls. The foil was on a big roll, and you'd put the roll in the machine, and then it would end up with blanks where this was taken out of. And I used to like to play with those, but it kind of get on your hands. So my dad didn't like me messing with that too much. But I still did. I like to wash my hands with the lava soap. Anyway, that little sand lava soap. It was like a bar of soap that was sandy. And I used to like to wash my hands with that. So it was another cool thing about my dad's job. That one's for, looks like a hospital. W.L. Gore and Associates. This is 1980. A statistical summary of the results of vascular access procedures for hemodialysis. This one's gorgeous. This is like lots of them. Look at them all. And And that's from a Media Corporation Construction General Contractors. Midvale Park. These are cool. These have got little strips. My mom must have liked those little strips. She cut them out. That's the first decade of Central Arizona College. Like a yearbook cover, something like that. Very pretty. The Safari Club International 10th anniversary. And this one, I don't know what is going on. Is there something on the back? But it's just got LOS letters there. So I don't know. She just used that as a piece. And you can see it's also got fingerprints on it from being, I was too little at this time. Well, no, not really. Not in 82. So I was born in 74. So it's possible I would bring home things too. I don't know. Dig them out. She might have got these out. What I'm saying is some of these pieces might have come out of my stash of crap I would bring home to craft with. The Official Guide to Success. Doesn't he look very 80s? Look at that with his Rolls Royce. That's Tom Hopkins right there. And Tom has done some other things because I see his name show up somewhere else. There's some little orange trees. These probably were from an orange tree company that had that as their logo. And then you've got Calvert. And these are just squares. And the lip is raised, but the inside. So and this must have been from maybe Menu. I don't know. Who knows? This is also Cavalier Homes. So it's 1948, which is pretty much when, not too far after that my grandparents showed up in Phoenix. There's another radio station, KZZP. And here is Tom Hopkins. Look at this cover. The Ladder to Success. So see, we had these people all the way back then. And they used to have real artists make their work. Look at that one with the little phoenix on it. That's neat. And so this is all very beautiful. Very beautiful. And then this one here, The System Cares. The 3rd annual Sammy Awards. And it's like a mother. I'm sure it's a famous statue or something. Or some kind of, native art that was local to the area. We got some Heart Ball. 981. These are neat because they're kind of raised. The little music notes are engraved. They're inside, and the tuba is, and the font they picked is kind of wild. And here's the Sunland Olympic Convention from Disneyland Hotel, 1980s. You remember the Olympics? Why, we did these for the hotel, the convention. These are more seals. These would be like seals that you'd have a little licky thing. You wouldn't lick them. And they weren't stickers back then. They were seals, and they had a gum on the back or something you'd activate, like stamps used to be. There's a Passport to Paradise. So that's from a brochure that they did. Very nice. It's got beautiful on it. Make it our business to sell your house. And again, we have that Arizona scene down here. Very pretty. You'll see that. So you're really just listening to me. Jim Sasser. That's neat. Jim Sasser. And here's a bunch of business cards again. Here's from Macayo. Woody Macayo. Look at that. Mexican restaurant. I loved Macayo's Mexican restaurants. That was one of my all-time favorite places to eat. That and Top Shelf. Top Shelf was like the family restaurant. But if I got to pick, I wanted to go to Macayo's because it was bright and crazy. And I'm trying to think of what the other restaurant. I had another one. So Top Shelf was always first. And then there was another one. And for the life of me, no, that's Macayo's. Shh. I can't remember, but you had these little flags, and when you needed something, you'd raise the little flag, and the lady would come over, and they had like a buffet kind of style and get Mexican food. Anyway, I love this right here with the paper clip for the O. That's really cute. It's neat. What other things are here? So just sitting here. We've got Silver Saver. Carla Black Photography. That's a beautiful card. There's a little Poppy. Donald W. Poppy Insurance. We got the president of an RV dealer, Robert Christ. Ullman International. This one as Keaton S. Gill. I don't know what he does, but he's so important. It doesn't have his job description. If you have the card, you know who he is. That's what that means. It doesn't say anything on there. Just a P.O. box. Gold Key, Holmes. There's a business and real estate. James Spencer. What does that say? Photography. And there's some gemstones. Yeah, but don't bother me again unless it's an emergency, okay? All right. That's all right. Okay, here's some more little interesting things. That must be, it's like a menorah. And it looks like writing, so it's probably for some type of, Jewish organization. There's Jagger. This looks like a world, it's probably some kind of business because it's got like pieces of the globe. Southern Arizona Council of Government. That's a neat one. It's got like a gear. And then the gear is raised and then the letters are raised on top of the gear. That's neat. And then you got the Phoenix. The Arizona there. And then this one's like the McGuffins. I don't know what that is, but it's like a little solarium there. Oh, there you go. Christmas. It's pretty. It's embossed there. To you for 1977. That's cute. So it went just the outside. Santa needs your help, and so do we at Point. So that must be more of that. Whatever that was, resort. Here's some bronze award and silver award from the Phoenix Art Directors Club 1981 exhibition. That was some of the work there. This is just bits and pieces. Here's the law school 1981, Suffolk University. It's very pretty. And more flowers. And then that's the end. Anyway, that's my book. I've made this almost an hour. That's all right. I have fun looking through it, and I think that's really neat to have. I felt very lucky that I got it, and some other little goodies. And I'll show you one more thing before I go. I've been working on some doilies, and I just finished this pattern. I made 3 of them, and this one was the other 2 went away, but this one I haven't blocked it yet, so I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me see if I can find something to let you see it. What do I got here? I don't have much luck. Okay, here. All right, here we go. It's got hearts. Once I block it, oh, you can see it. Look at all the little hearts in there. It's got 3 of them. There's one there and there that mirror. And then these that are like a big heart. Which you can kind of see better here. They're 3D hearts. So do you see what I mean? From far away, it looks like a strawberry. But when you're up close, it's got a heart shape inside. Like a 3D heart shape. Anyway, I thought that I was making them for somebody, and I thought they looked so beautiful that I had to make. They're going in my Secret Santa. What to say? Anybody that goes through this video this long gets in on the secret. So I made 2 of them for her. A big one, and then a little one. One that's actually a little bit smaller than this one. Thread size, and then I made a 3rd one that just, so I could have a copy of the pattern. I try to I don't know. Sometimes I like to keep them. I might give this one away. I haven't really decided yet. But anyway, it's beautiful. So I've been feverishly working on those doilies to get them out in time. And I think I've made it within the deadline. So all's good. Of course, I didn't think I did. I thought I was about 3 days ahead. So I actually thought this was the 30th, but it's only the 25th. So I lose track of time. I don't know exactly how I got that far off. Typically, I'm not a whole week off, but that does happen from time to time. I got some things going on upstairs. And so I can't do time real well. I'm very bad. If you're very bad, you know the struggle. You can't see it till I block it. It looks cruddy. But when it's like that, it's beautiful. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. So now you got a sneak peek. Okay, I'm ending this. All right, thank you for hanging out and looking through my goodies and my stuff that my dad sent me. So I'm super excited. Okay, bye.